excited to be here with you this morning, and we have a special guest. Yes. So Trevor and I are back together, and today we have Elaine Weisner with us. Hey, Elaine.
Hey there. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes.
Oh,
and you know
so
what
fun.
we commented on is Trevor and I need badges or name tags because Elaine came in with her official name tag. So Elaine is here with us. She is one of our master gardeners in Nash County. And to be honest, Trevor and I have really just learned more about the Nash County Arboretum through an invitation that Elaine sent us to be a part of the garden stroll a few weeks ago.
Oh, yes, and I was so glad y'all could come see our gardens.
Oh, we had the best time.
And we learned so much, so that's why we wanted to have her,
Yes.
because there's so much going on that we need to take part of.
Absolutely.
And take advantage of all the good stuff that's
We felt like it was sort of real estate and sort of just kind of a cool thing in our community that if we didn't know about, maybe you didn't know about. And so it is certainly helpful for your yard, but it's also helpful if you're trying to meet other people and explore a passion that you may have. So Elaine, thanks for being here.
Thank you. And the garden stroll really started as a way we wanted to do something for the Friends of the Arboretum. And then we decided, well, we're going to invite community partners as well. Because a lot of people don't realize that Nash County has an arboretum. And the gardens are so beautiful at this time of year, but they're interesting all year long.
all year long.
And so many of the things in the gardens really it's a demonstration garden. So
Right.
it can represent needs that people may have for their home landscape too.
Well, and you know what, I didn't know, I mean, I'm just novice here, right? I did not know that there would be so many different types of gardens. So that was really cool for Trevor and I. There was a rose garden, there was a tranquility garden. I'm having to use this map as my
Yes.
reference. Holly garden, pollinator garden. One of my favorites though, as it related to really something that Trevor and I hear in real estate is, you know, when I move in, I want more privacy. What are some plants that I can plant to help? And that's what really got us thinking about how this is so relevant to real estate. But what plants should I plant to help hide my neighbors if I want to have more privacy? I mean, it's true. We get the question all the time. So tell me about that particular garden.
The screen garden is one
Screen
that
garden.
people want to come out to see what they can use for privacy or screening. And
Yes.
there is quite a variety of plants, and each garden has one or more stewards that's in charge of the garden, the plants, the design, and they also have other master gardeners who help them in the garden. But to me it was so interesting when Karen could show all the plants and trees that were put in so many years ago, back when the Arboretum first started, and then the ones that had been there since, I said Karen, I meant Mary, since she had been there, and she said she had brought them all in her CRV. And some of those were just, 8, 10
They
feet tall,
flourished.
and it's only been a few years. So some of them really can grow fast, and then of course there's shrubs and stuff as well as trees in that garden.
It's so good because it's a demonstration screen. So
Yes,
really, you
yes,
can go and check
yes.
it out. And there's, I know we're on a path, but when I went, I also learned that you can get samples and soil samples and then give it to the gardeners, and it'll come back and tell you what kind of plants you plant.
Y'all, Trevor has talked about this at least 5 times. This was her key takeaway. So
was
my
so
husband is a
great.
farmer, so I know all about soil samples, but I honestly didn't think about soil samples as it relates to your personal yard and garden. So tell us about
It
that.
does relate because certain trees want a certain pH, and
Right.
they also need certain nutrients. So when you do your soil sample, you'll find out if you need to adjust the pH. A lot of the trees that we have around here in bushes, like these azaleas, they like an acidic soil. But that's going to tell you what it is, and it's also going to tell you what nutrients you need. And when you get the test kit, it will tell you how to take the soil sample. It's not like you take it from one spot. So if you had a bunch of azaleas, you might take something from 6 different locations, then you mix it up, and it is sent off to NC State. It is free at this time of year. It's free from April to November. And then you will get information back on whether you need to adjust the pH, what kind of fertilizer you need to add, and they'll give you information on the type of fertilizer and stuff too. Your bushes and trees and plants, you know, they may not do well if they're not getting what they need. So starting with a soil sample is a great place to start.
Well, and Trevor and Elaine are so right, because when people move in, you know, all projects can't be tackled by the individual or the homeowner, just thinking about myself and who we talk to. But when you have the ability to kind of work on it slowly but surely, a lot of people feel like they can at least start the tackle of landscaping, particularly to put it on the market, or when you buy it and you really want to make it your own. So that's a cool opportunity.
It really is.
And I was going to say, another garden that I thought could be very good for someone's home is the terrace garden. If someone has a sloping landscape, the terrace garden shows you how you can make different levels, and ours has 2 different levels, and that helps to slow erosion. It's nice not to have to mow something that's at such a slope, so if you can use it to put in plants and flowers and stuff,
Yeah,
so good.
that's
You're
great.
right.
Yes.
That's great there.
Really good.
And then the pollinator garden.
Tell me us about bees, because I feel like this is you're passionate about this topic.
Well, it's not just about bees, because there's so many things that
Yes,
are pollinators
yes,
as far
okay.
as there's so many types of bees. The honeybees are the workhorse of the pollinators, but certainly butterflies, moths, birds. Lots of different things are pollinators, and in the pollinator garden you can see a lot of the flowers that are going to attract pollinators, and also a succession of blooming. So some things may bloom for a long period of time all summer, but some things may be early spring, some will be more September, and it is great to have something there for our pollinators, you know, as long as
all
we can
year
all year
round.
Yeah.
Yes,
Love it.
yes. Well, I say pollinator garden, it makes me think of bees, but you're right, certainly more than bees. But one thing Trevor and I learned from Elaine and that evening on the garden stroll was just how important bees are. And I guess we should know that, and we know that, but not inherently. So they make up about 35%. Tell us.
As far as 35% of our food crops are dependent on pollinators, and 75% of our flowering plants are dependent on pollinators. They are just so important. And we do have a pollinator symposium that's coming up on June 21st, and it'll be on a Saturday from 9 to 12. There is a fee for that, of course, but we're going to have some wonderful speakers. Bree Author is she is a very well-known author herself, and best-selling author, and she's going to be talking about foodscaping for pollinators. And then we will have the director of the J.C. Ralston Arboretum in Raleigh. He's going to be talking about keeping things bee-friendly, and we're going to have a 5th generation beekeeper there as well. So I hope you can join us for that.
Super cool. I just love to know about these activities that, you know, really speak to someone's individual interest, and then they can be translated to how you can be a part of that.
And you do so many.
So many.
There's so many functions.
So
going
honestly,
on,
y'all,
so-
I brought 2 schedules, and you see the website. It was just up there. Now it's Trevor and my phone number, but it was just back there. You go, the website, and a lot of this information is on the website. But these classes that I have in front of me weren't even the beekeeper symposium.
Right,
so I
right,
mean, there's
right.
just so many different things to take advantage
There's
of.
story time in the garden.
Oh, that's so cute
And
too.
that's coming up June 13th. We're having story time in the Tranquility Garden. We're going to have a story called The Ugly Vegetables, okay? And it's geared towards children 4 to 8, but other ages.
Well, how
will
about a
probably enjoy
10-year-old?
this
My
one.
10-year-old thinks all vegetables are ugly too.
And this is about a little Chinese girl, and she doesn't understand why all her neighbors are planting these beautiful flowers, and her mom is planting these ugly vegetables. And then we'll do some garden exploration, and we'll have a craft for that as well.
And
That's so
it's free.
cute.
It's
And
Yes,
it's free.
yes,
We just do
yes.
ask that they call in so that we'll know how many are coming
yeah.
for that.
So one of the things that Trevor asked as we were talking to Elaine this morning, which was a good question, is if so many of these workshops and services are free, how is something like this supported and paid for in our community? I didn't know the answer, so Elaine, share with us.
Okay, we don't. we don't have any county funds appropriated for us, but what we do is we have our annual plant sale in April, and that is our biggest fundraiser of the year, and it's a lot of fun. So please come on. Next year will be our 25th anniversary of the plant sale.
So cool. And WIG did a lot of promotion for that this year.
Okay, great. And we have our wreath workshop, which is at the end of November, beginning of December.
There you go, Trevor.
And we have
Love it. I've been so many
Trevor's did.
times.
Yeah.
I'm already planning my next wreath for this year. It's so fun.
And aren't they beautiful? I mean, it's amazing how pretty those turn out.
You
Yeah.
can't, I don't feel like you can do a bad wreath. You think that when you go in there, but you end up with this masterpiece because we have all the master gardeners there to help us. So it is so fun.
It is. It's a whole lot of fun for that.
So the plant sale is the most significant fundraiser, and then you said the wreath sale, and then you said the pollinator
right.
workshop was like $20, but that's probably just to really cover costs.
Mainly to cover the speakers. And then we do have the Friends of the Arboretum, and there's a minimum annual fee of $30 to be a friend, and so we appreciate all of their support as well.
How many friends do you have now, do you think?
I think we're somewhere, I think around 25 or something right now. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that should really go up. We should really encourage people to do that. It's not that much money, and you really support.
And I bet you get, so the thing is, there's so many things happening that speak to different interests that's hard to keep up with unless you were probably a friend of the Arboretum, and then you get notifications about these events.
Oh, and one more event I wanted to mention is we are having a moth night in July. Okay,
Yeah,
so
this is
moths
cool.
are pollinators. They are nocturnal, so this event is going to take place at night from 8:30 to 10:30. And it is free. It's kind of like a citizen science project. It is free, but there will be somewhere to sign up for that on the website that she gave you, because the scientists will be collecting data. And I think, I believe there is an age for children. It might be 10 or older. You'll have to double check that one on me too. And but yes, the scientist
so
is collecting
neat.
data, so we're
I
going to have space will be limited, but so sign up for that one.
I did not know that a moth was a pollinator.
I didn't either till this morning. I didn't either until this morning.
Yeah, they're good pollinators. So, and there's so many things we can, because the pollinators do so much for us. There's so many things we can do in our own yards for them to plant flowers that you'll hear a lot about native plants these days, because these pollinators for eons and eons had a relationship with the native plants. So they may not respond to some of the non-natives, and they might not recognize it as food. So I'm not saying you have to go all native, but I am trying to add more native to my own yard for that. And the monarch butterfly, you may have heard, the orange and black beautiful butterfly, is an endangered butterfly, and it winters in central Mexico, and then it comes to the eastern part of the United States. There's another group for the western, and it may go as far as Canada, and then they head back. But there are different generations, yes. So and one thing we can do for them is to plant milkweed. That is their host plant. That's where they lay their eggs for their caterpillars to come out. So milkweed is something that we can all do too to help the monarch butterflies.
Super
So
cool.
good.
Okay, so Elaine, when someone, if they want to just stroll through the Nash Arboretum, where is this, and is it open? What hours is it open?
Okay, this is in Nash County, and it's at 1006 Eastern Avenue, right there at the Agriculture Center.
Where you go vote.
Right,
For a lot of people.
know it as where you go vote.
Where you go vote, it's right there.
And the Arboretum is multiple gardens that surround that area, so that if they can come. The Arboretum was started back in 2001. It was Mike Wilder was the horticulture agent at the time, and he needed to develop the grounds, and he decided, hey, let's put an arboretum in. He only had 3 certified master gardeners working with him.
I can't even imagine
Yeah.
doing this much work with
And
3
one
people.
of those 3 certified is still active with us, Joey, and she was telling me
Oh my
that
gosh.
she was telling me about that they had 375 plants to put in, and then about 10 years ago we were donated a home homestead, which I'm sure is much
Oh.
different than the real estate you all are selling today. It's like an old cabin, and she said they had to shut down the streets of Nashville, and that homestead, this big cabin, came down the road. So I would have loved to have seen that.
So that's the one
was
that's here.
interesting.
That's the
Yes.
one.
Right,
Yep.
where it says log
Yeah,
cabin
we
on the
saw
map.
that.
So when you pull up the website, the homestead is really cool. It's at the back of the property.
Right, and we're hoping to put in an herb garden there
Okay.
soon as well.
Okay. So, and it's open all the time?
All the time.
All
and
the
I love
time.
it when I'm working in the garden and out there and someone comes by, because then it's nice to be able to just chat with people too. So.
That is
Yes.
cool. All right. The last thing I wanted to cover is if any of this is interesting to you and you are curious how Elaine got this cool badge that says Master Gardener Volunteer, tell us about, I think you said that you received your or you went through the certification in 2022.
Right.
But what is involved in that?
Okay, so the academic work is 1 day a week, 3 hours.
Okay.
And then this coming class in 2026 will start on January the 22nd. And there is somewhere on that site where you can download an application for that. And then it will go on for about 12 weeks. You get about 40 academic hours. And then once you complete the academic training, which is so interesting, I loved everything I was learning in that. And then you go on to do 40 volunteer hours, because Master Gardener is a volunteer program. And you have a mentor, and then once you complete your 40
didn't know that
hours,
part.
you get your badge. And then every year after that, you can get like 20 volunteer hours in and 10 educational hours, but there's so much to learn. I mean, you can get more hours in than that.
That's so neat to have a mentor.
Yeah, it is.
I love that it's an actual program with a curriculum and
Yes.
tactical
Because then
hours
you
and
really
classroom
learn.
hours.
Right.
Yes.
And
It's a goal.
even things that I really like. I'm not really into lawn care, but even the stuff on the lawns, it was all so interesting to me. It's a great program.
That's
And
so
it's
cool.
a wonderful group of master gardeners that we have. They all work so well together.
And it's so important for real estate.
That's right, that's right.
I mean, I read a little stat that said your house is like 20% more you get for your house if you've got a nice landscaped lawn.
Oh, I
And
would
that's
absolutely
tremendous.
believe that.
And it shows quicker, sells
Yes,
quicker,
yes,
shows
yes,
better.
yes.
It's amazing. And so we have all these resources that you can use to help
Yes.
with your property value.
For your passion and your property.
Right.
Yes. Well, Elaine, I just realized what time it is. Thank you so much for being
thank you
here
all so
this
much for having
morning.
me.
And this all came because of a garden stroll. And now
please
we've learned
go.
so much more. So I
Yes.
hope you'll have an opportunity to go. I hope you'll come back and
Oh,
talk
I
to
would
us
love
when it's
to.
time for the plant sale again next spring.
Yeah, and there's so much going on, so check the website.
Check
so
the
you don't
website.
miss any of these fun classes. And at the farmer's market, too. You have so
Yes.
many
Right,
places.
right.
Yeah.
And we're there to answer questions 9 to 11 at the farmers market.
Market. Okay. Thank you all so much
Okay.
for joining us this morning. Have a great day and try to stay dry this week.